Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Christina McNeil, and this is NB12 for Tuesday, August 7th, 2012, broadcasting from the Cable 12 studios on Robinson Road. In news tonight, results for national Bgcse and Bgcse examinations are released, showing Bahamian secondary school students still underperforming. A weekend shooting injures 7, what police say about public safety. A tropical depression is making waves nearby, and a youth mentorship program helps kickstart young Bahamians. We have those stories and much more coming up tonight. Your NB12 starts right now. Thanks for joining us. Although a national grade average has not been released, the average performance of students sitting Bahamian General Certificate of Secondary Education examinations and Bahamas Junior Certificate exams in essential subjects like math, English language, and the sciences remain the same: dismal. But the Ministry of Education is reporting a slight improvement in the overall grades awarded to students this year. Paige McCartney has the breakdown of the national grades in this report.
The highest percentage of grades awarded for both Bgcse and Bgc levels were grade C. However, the majority of students are receiving below average grades in core subjects. At the Bgcse level, the average grade in math went from an E- last year to an E+ this year, which is the lowest grade average in all of the 27 subjects offered at the Bgcse level. English language remained the same over the past years at an average of D. In all of the sciences at the senior level, the average grade was C-, except for biology, in which students received, on average, a D-. At the Bgc level, the average grade in math improved from an E+ in 2011 to a D- this year. English language improved from a D to a D+. However, general science grades on average declined from a D to a D-. Minister of Education, Science and Technology Jerome Fitzgerald said there's much work to be done in improving these grades.
It was an improvement over last year, but overall, we at the ministry are not satisfied that we are preparing our kids sufficiently for the workforce and giving them the best opportunity for success. And so, as I said, we still have a lot of work to do. We still have a long way to go, but there has been an improvement over last year.
Additionally, there has been a decrease in the overall number of failing or below average grades awarded this year compared with last year for both Bgcse and Bgc exams. Below average grades are grades E, F, G, and U. In the Bgcse, there were 7,810 below average grades awarded, down from the 9,341 awarded last year. At the Bgc level, there were 11,064 below average grades awarded, down from the 12,916 last year. At the senior level, 947 students received at least a grade C in 5 or more subjects, representing 13% of the 7,117 students registered to sit the exams, while 1,594 students obtained a minimum grade of D in 5 or more subjects, which represents 22% of the students. At the junior level, 1,213 students received a grade of C or higher in 5 or more subjects. However, more than 1,895 achieved a minimum of D in at least 5 subjects. The minister said the curriculums offered need to be adjusted to focus on areas that students can excel in apart from the academic subjects offered.
That's why we're introducing the career path, which will put them on a path in areas that they are interested in and suit them where they can use their mind and their hands. This is a phenomenon that's happening around the world, and we are just moved slow and implemented into our high school, and so we now have to pick up the pace to make sure that we prepare our young people for the jobs that are available out there for them, because they're leaving high school, not graduating, and not with any skills to move into the workforce, which is putting them at a serious disadvantage.
It's important to note, however, that fewer students sat both level examinations this year. Officials said for no other reason than that the number of students sitting exams fluctuate from year to year. But with only about 50% of students actually graduating from high school, Fitzgerald said there's a need for a new kind of standardized testing. According to Fitzgerald, 9th graders will be tested this school year in order to determine which areas need to be addressed in the standardized test. He said officials hope to implement the GED type test as early as 2015.
In order for us to do the GED program, which allows students who've left school and not graduated, we have to make sure we have standardized equivalency for them to come back and take a test in order for them to get their graduation certificate as well. And so that's how critical it is for us to get that part done, so we can standardize so everyone will know what the level is. And basically what that will do is that will ensure that everyone who graduates from high school at least has a grade 9 level of English and mathematics skills.
A recently released report from the Department of Statistics showed that the majority of the Bahamian workforce has not completed higher education, with 52% of employed Bahamians having only completed high school and 8% of employed Bahamians having not completed high school at all.
And to improve reading and math skills at the primary school level, the Ministry of Education intends to double the reading class hours and to also increase the math class hours by 50%. For B12, I'm Paige McCartney.
Well, police are now on an all-out hunt for the person or people responsible for that shootout during a festival in Union Village late last night that has left 7 people injured. Charisma Robinson reports.
Organizers of that neighborhood festival in Union Village reportedly claimed that the violence erupted only after the police left the event. However, during a police press conference today, Assistant Commissioner of Police with Responsibility for Crime, Anthony Ferguson, insisted that there was a significant police presence at the event from the start to the finish.
Obviously, the areas where this incident might have taken place, knowing the situation in those areas is somewhat challenged during the nighttime, but I will say that officers were there from start to finish.
A 17-year-old girl and boy were among the 4 males and 3 females who were injured during last night's shooting. At this point, police still do not know the motive behind the shooting rampage. However, ACP Ferguson explained that it may have been sparked after an altercation broke out between 2 groups of men. We cannot say at this time whether the groups of men are residents of that area.
We are encouraged by members of the public who have given us information that we are able to work on, and we continue to encourage members of the public to provide us with any additional information that they might have that would assist in this investigation to bring forth those persons who are responsible for this serious attack.
Now, police are also busy investigating 2 other incidents that happened during family events.
The second incident took place at Bailey Park, where a 36-year-old male was stabbed in the abdominal area, and this took place around 12:33 a.m. on Monday, the 6th of August, where he was attacked by some young men while attending a function there. And a second incident that took place at Bailey Park was where a 46-year-old male who was stabbed in the forehead by one of 3 men who attacked him at that location. All of the persons, last report, are still being treated. The young man that was stabbed in the abdominal area is in serious condition, and he is still being in the theater up to our last report.
Police are sending a stern warning to criminals whose sole purpose is to create fear at family events.
It is unfortunate that we still have some young persons in our community who would attend functions where decent persons are, and their sole purpose is to create fear. I will say that this will not be allowed, as we will not sit by and let criminals disrupt the family setting.
Police also giving an update on that murder that happened on Cat Island on Sunday. A 21-year-old male of New Providence is expected to be charged in court in connection with that murder sometime this week. The country's murder count now stands at 76. Reporting for NB12, I'm Charisma Robinson.
A local support group designed to help the families of murder victims is reaching out for more families to lend their voices to seek justice while offering a helping hand to those who are no longer able to provide for themselves. Families of All Murder Victims, also known as FOAM, is 40 members strong and growing. Growing because of the rate of murders in the country that leave many Bahamian families without a breadwinner, husband, wife, son, or daughter. President of the nonprofit group, Candy Gibson, says the grief families experience upon losing a loved one is all too familiar to her. Gibson lost 2 brothers and her stepson in the span of 1 year to murder and manslaughter. All too often, says Pastor Kevin Grant, society tends to forget about those left behind by senseless acts of murder.
We see pain because to have a loved one murdered, it hurts. To have a loved one murdered, it broke the chain of the family because don't care how you try, you will never be the same again. So I honestly and truly thank God that He had placed this ministry on me and gave me this cross to bear, because many times when loved ones are murdered, you go to their home and you say stuff to them, but he who feels it knows it. If you don't have a loved one murdered, you can never relate to me.
In our society, we tend not to really look to the people who are being left behind. We focus on the ones who tragically being killed. You know, that sells better news. But what we're doing as FOAM, as a church, as a people, we're trying to bring the people to consciousness and let them know that there are people who are still going through the struggle.
Maxine Roberts lost 2 children to murder, including her 14-year-old daughter, Jafania Roll. With tears streaming down her face, she holds out a tooth with a bullet lodged in it. That, she says, is all she has left of her daughter. Gibson says FOAM has the compassion and empathy to relate to Roberts and other family members who are still grieving. FOAM attempts to reach out to those families and assist them in any way possible with care packages, groceries, and even clothing.
My brothers left 7 children. So you can imagine the many others out there who hurting, and their children isn't going to be afforded the opportunity that they would have been afforded because dad or mom is no longer around. So FOAM is here to help lessen the financial burden, and we're here to show support that because we care. And like I always tell people, together we stand, divided we fall.
However, Gibson notes that FOAM does not have the financial resources to assist everyone. The nonprofit organization is set to hold its major fundraiser on Arambili Park this weekend on August 11th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Gibson says every little bit helps. To find out how you can help, contact FOAM on its 24-hour hotline at 393-3626.